My good friend, I feel vindicated. Vindicated in so many ways. Vindicated, I knew this day would come. I don't know if anybody's noticing this is my vindication. I'm not taking credit for a lot of this stuff. But without going into details and without unearthing and reminding people, I and members of my profession have been around for a while. And a lot of the new folks of this who are enjoying tremendous wealth and fame and fortune, as they should, are part of a new informational revolution. And every now and then something will change. And I want you to listen to me. And I've noticed this. Sometimes it will be one little thing or event that opens up something which already was there the whole time. But it took an event all of a sudden. It's like this, maybe a jenga or some type of a little... When I was a kid one time, I'll never forget, I was in the grocery store. You know how they have the baskets for your kids? I remember my mother's pushing me around, and I always remember this, and she did too. And I wasn't just thinking I remembered it. I actually saw this. There were these oranges. Being from Florida, they had these oranges on this display and this pyramidal setup. And people would, I thought, even then, why would you set this up? Because if you pull an orange, they would fall. And I would watch, and people would, sure enough, before Jenga, would pull an orange, and yet the framework would maintain. The way the gravity or the positional architecture was, who knows? But it didn't fall. And then sure enough, somebody came along and picked one of the oranges or fruit or whatever it was that didn't seem like it was in the middle, but it might have been on the corner, and sure enough, it collapsed. That's what happens with stories. It takes an event. Children being abused has been around forever. When my beloved wife and Lynn's Warriors, which you have been so wonderful in following, was sounding the alarm on human trafficking, the very first thing she ever did, we were on Congress in Washington for an all-day event. Her first thing, 8 hours. It was packed. And it was during the time of the impeachment hearings, and it was wild, and we were there. And people even then said, human trafficking. She was ahead of the game. And we said, yeah, human trafficking. And now everybody's in on it, which is great. By the way, the bandwagon, plenty of room. Come on. Things go through that. Diet, change all of a sudden. Do you remember one day, I'll never forget, people hated gluten. Gluten. All of a sudden, gluten. Because of celiac? No, gluten. Because of the wheat? No, gluten. Gluten-free pizza, gluten-free what? I don't know. It just happened. Not so much anymore, but it just happened. And I noticed these trends. Paninis came. All of a sudden, smashed, kind of grilled cheese. It doesn't matter. It's a trend. And if you want to get in this business, understand trends. But more importantly, and listen to me carefully, more importantly, it's not necessarily the trend that's interesting. It's when a trend goes away. What we're not talking about anymore is sometimes more important than what we are talking about. Hunter Biden, gone. Why? Now, we don't know. This story involving what's going on regarding Nancy Guthrie. What is this? What is this all about? All of a sudden, tarps and a pool supply. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that her pool cleaner didn't know she's missing? They showed up with what's the matter? Well, we're here to clean the pool. Don't you know what this is? No. I'm sure it's a local company. They didn't know. What is this? Is this meant to throw you off? Is this a distraction? to change the way you see things. Look over here. Look over here. No, over here. Remember when you have a little baby? Baby bumps his head. Hey, look at this. Look at the ring. Look at this. You start jiggling the keys. Oh, yeah. Sleight of hand. What is sleight of hand? How are their hands? It's your distraction. They want you to look over here. They want you to look over here. Don't look there. Look there. Don't feel something. Use habituation. When you put something on, a new piece of jewelry, it might feel clunky and cumbersome and heavy, and then all of a sudden, you don't notice it anymore. Through habituation. When novel stimuli lose their novelty. And that's important for you to be able to notice new stimuli, like the sound of screeching brakes and tires as a car careens out of control and is about to hit you. You want to be able to figure new things and hear new things. That's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what this is about. So you're just overwhelmed going through X. My God, the Epstein, they can't get enough of this. And the people which we've talked about, Junk Yogurt, bless his heart, says, I don't know about this 9/11 story. He just figured it out. Great. Hey, better late than never. Come on, big guy. Doesn't matter. Don't feel bad. I don't care. Do you know me? How many times have you heard me talk about the hyoid bone and thyroid cartilage regarding Epstein? People are saying, oh, Jesus, God, he's... Now, Baden, who said this initially, nobody paid attention to, now, all of a sudden, they pulled that little orange and... Hey, better late than never. They killed him. There was a time when if you said that there were pedo rings throughout Hollywood and throughout governmental circuses and circuits, or maybe that's interesting for an Islam, that they lived and existed. And all of a sudden, yes, wow, yes, you're right. You wouldn't even kicked off. You were called crazy. Why? Because the bad guys were in charge of the media. Now, I know this is a kind of a roundabout way. 7 minutes into this, let's talk about the best, Erika. Erika Kirk, the best. She's the orange. She's this. I don't know why. I told you before in the analogy, why this orange here? Why its placement on the side? Why not in the middle? She's not the biggest story around, but is she? Maybe she's emblematic. Maybe she's a symptom. Maybe this pesky rash, which you thought was eczema, is something worse, some kind of systemic, disease. Maybe it was something deeper. That's what she is. People coming forward. Laura Loomer. I love Laura Loomer's. I don't always agree with her. That doesn't mean I don't like her, but sometimes, boy, she's off on this Erika thing. She is just so off. She doesn't get it. Bless your heart. But you know what? She's committed to her cause, and God damn it, that's fine. Same thing with my friend Alex Jones. Love him to death. But he's got this thing. And he's on that Patrick Bet David. This poor guy, he doesn't even know. He's a little de starura, but he doesn't understand. Doesn't matter. He's all attitude and a lot of guess. He always acts confounded. Do you mean to tell me? Yes. The obvious sometimes can be a sledgehammer to some people. But they don't know what to do with her. Candace Owens, she's this, where did she come from all of a sudden, out of the blue? Here she comes, my God. She's so right. And she's spawned and inspired so many people. And Erika, they still haven't shit-canned her, pardon my French. Get her out of here. Get her out. Because we are the United States of amnesia. Al Gore was Gore Vidal. We've forgotten Al Gore. Whatever happened to Tipper Gore? Remember that one? Let it go. Let it go. See what happens? You just go away. Let me give you a story real quick, right? You're going to love this. I think you'll love this. I am Superman, and I can do anything. Who said that? Mr. Stipe. That's who. There's this idea that when you get older, you lose things. You know, do you ever see Susanna Hoffs? Remember her from the Bangles? She's always on TV. Look, I'm 65. I'm not wearing makeup. Hard to believe, isn't it? Not really, but anyway, some people are hung up on their age. Their age. You know, age, whatever. I'm 86. What do I care? In any event. So they did this study one time, and they said, what's the difference mentally, cerebrally, in terms of cognition and mentation between younger people and older people? Younger people were great at doing these. Did you ever see young people, they fantastic. I never learned how to do the thumb thing with texting, but they're very, very good. They say nothing. They speak complete and utter gibberish. They can't put together a sentence to save their lives. They've never read a book, but by God, they're like that. So when it comes to quick stuff, whack-a-mole stuff, they're fantastic. Older people have a different talent. Older people have a thing where they can tell what's the difference between this and this. Remember when you were a kid? Remember when you were at the doctor's office? Did you ever have Highlights magazine? Remember that Highlights? They didn't have, in the old days, you go to a doctor's office and you were a slave to Gem Cutter's Quarterly, yachting, whatever the particular penchant or passion of the doctor was. That's what you read. Oh my God. No, nothing. Nobody brought a book. You were just looking around. And they had these highlights. It was for kids, and Goofus and Gallant. And one was, what's different between this page and this page? What's missing in this one and this one? And older people are better at that. Say, oh, this one, what? The vase is missing. The picture frame is missing. The giraffe is missing. We can immediately see the difference between things. What does that translate into? Judgment. Judgment. Younger people don't have judgment, the ability to assess and weigh this direction versus this direction. What's the difference? Okay. And to make it even more complicated, throw in the notion of psychopathy, which distorts and blunts and shunts your ability to appreciate consequence, and you're into a mess. But I don't want to make it more complicated than usual, because this is complicated. And get ready. Get ready to enjoy nuance and subtlety and complexity, the likes of which you've never seen before. This is Mandelbrot's fractals. This is going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and realizing that when you get inside, there's no end to it. You can plumb the depths and there is no end. What is this all about? Who is this Erika Kirk? Where is she? She represents this new, maybe an appreciation for the stylized, hairsprayed, spackled, phony illusion. She's almost like a carryover of the days of the pinup girl, Betty Grable and that. She's sort of, but you realize that the pinup girl could have just been a pinup girl and let other people do the talking, but no, she had to take it all because she's a performance girl. And there are so many people really getting into the complexity of who she is, really appreciating, really understanding, really grasping who she is. And it's wonderful. So what we have right now is this is the next, we're in a new, kind of like the age of Aquarius. We're in the age, I don't know what you want to call it, but maybe in 10 years, what we're looking at 10 years, in 10 years, we are where we should have been 10 years ago. Finally, people are realizing, so child predation is apparent. So the media cover it up. So this culture, which for the longest time thought that it was okay, they were untouchable. In the 80s, I want to say in the 80s, when cocaine broke out, there were many people who thought cocaine was harmless. The Rolling Stone Encyclopedia of Recreational Drugs said that cocaine was harmless. They really did. Paul Newman one time walked around with a razor blade jewelry. They thought it was cool. And there were other people who thought it was so cool that it was a sign of wealth. And they pulled out their little vial, a little Deering grinder, and they would grow their fingernail And, this is big in Florida, in the 80s and Miami Vice and all this stuff. And they would pull out a bag or a line or an ounce or a gram, and they would, not an ounce, but they would, people say, what are you doing? And they say, come on, this is cool, man. Cocaine. No, we don't use cocaine. Well, we do. And, F you if you don't like it. Well, that's what these people are, these pederasts, these catamites, these sick, these people who are absolutely just, they're coming out of the woodwork. You realize, my God, if you've ever seen my newest analogy, if you've ever seen bed bugs. Bed bugs are a hematophagic little critter I'm very impressed with, called Cymex lectularius. And they're a blood-sucking, blood-eating, exsanguinating, hematophagic, blood-eating. They're the most incredible things you've ever seen. They live forever. They are the most durable. They're phenomenal. They look like little flaxseed. And if you see one, there are 1,000. That's what these people are. They're so good, by the way. One time I had a little... I saved one for the bug guy. There was a time in New York everybody had them. I always thought that the bed bug companies would let them loose. In any event, and I kept them kept one in a little shot glass. And somebody was in there, so I put it behind the microwave, and I didn't want them to see this. Like, what's this? I forgot about it. It had a piece of saran wrap on it. I don't know how many months it was there. I thought, oh God, look at that. There's this little bug. And I think there might have been 2 of them. And I shook the shot glass, and they started running around. It's like mating, and they had nothing. They were just there. They can last like up to a year. They're so durable. Do you know that people used to grease the post of their bed so that the bugs couldn't? It was crazy. Bed condoms were great. You would put it around your mattress. You know what I found out? A bed bug would go up your wall, over your ceiling, and it tries to detect your carbon dioxide. And wherever you move, it follows you. So you don't want to sleep in your bed? Go on the couch? Fine. It'll find you. They are incredible. That's what these people are. You will never get rid of the source, but you have to crush them. You have to make child predation, which is what Lynn's Warriors on YouTube is about. You have to make it very, very absolutely unacceptable in any form whatsoever. You have to attune and sharpen and make people aware of how horrible this is. You have to tell kids, you have to vaccinate them from this. You have to explain to them, ruin their innocence. And every now and then somebody will come along and will be that little orange that upsets everything. And you don't know why, but they're there. And that is this last iteration of this thing called Erika Kirk. I don't know of all the things. She is the well-placed. She's a spook. With her family, she's one of these people. By the way, remember this. In the intel world, they love people of the same bloodline. They love this. The same way these demented, sick reptiles are. They love bloodlines. Consanguinity versus persterpes. They love the same. Okay, so these are individuals who were there. She reminds us. This is the woman who, by the way, said, I don't know nothing about for Huachuca. She was doing industrials for CIA about EMPs. Come on. Her whole tell me what she is. Tell me, when you keep peeling back the layers of the con, who is she? What is she really about? And the latest which has been unearthed are these texts between a 25-year-old and a 15. Oh no. Oh no. No. That's I don't know what it is, how these people zoom in, why do they function by seeking out the innocent, the impressionable, the hurt, the lacking. Children are ready. They're almost like, leave them alone. Wait, let them, don't, not now. Children are one thing, adolescents are another. 15 years old, confused, a girl. This is what Ghislaine Maxwell did. This is the stalking horse. This is sheepdogging. This is all of this. This is luring people in to say, I'm your friend. I'm your mentor. I could be the big sister you've never had. You're beautiful. You're sexy. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. You can do anything you want. You love me. Because remember what a predator does. It's seduction. This is what people don't understand. We always think of the old days as the pervert, the prevert, as we call him in the South. The guy who jumps out of a van. The one who hangs out, remember the old days, the flasher with the trench coat. And I don't know where they are, but that's not who they are. The real groomer is the person who waits. He waits. He lies in wait. And he seduces you. He's patient. Patient. They know more about children's behavior than anybody. They could be the best. If they use their intuition for good, they could help children. And why do we want children? Because of their innocence. Innocence, the lifeblood, the same reason why religious sects and people who are involved in sacrifice, children, virgins, purity. It's a theme that one set keeps replicating itself throughout history. This is a very complicated thing right now. And do not let my quasi-beatnik meets grandpa look fool you. I know what I'm talking about. And I've always known what I'm talking about. And I've been very, very okay with the fact that I'm right. You can come along. It's up to you. I can't make you understand. I have been called crazy, and I know this. And I've always known I am correct, because if these people think I'm crazy, I must be correct. Because they're not crazy. They're stupid. I'd rather be crazy than stupid. Okay? Stupid is incurable. So there we have it. So remember, I know this is hard. This is a rather desultory, kind of a discursive, elliptical way to get to the end point. But what I'm telling you is that in our world, and what people like Candace Owens, bless her, what she's done is start to pull that orange out of the pyramid, and others maybe, and it's all tumbling down now. It takes an incident here. How long was Epstein here? We knew about Epstein. And if you go online, look at these great sources. They've been saying this forever. How long have I repeated? By the way, is Michael Baden. How long has he and I, by using his finding, said that Epstein was murdered? This was strangulation. Anterior to posterior strangulation, compression. This is not a ligature type of a suspension. No! Hyoid bone fractured. This little bone. Put your hand under your mandible here, under your jaw. Go to the back. That's where it is. It's the only bone that's not connected or anything. It's kind of like this sort of, but it kind of floats. And the only way to fracture it is sometimes if you've been in an accident or you've been clotheslined. It's really hard because, again, it's just, if you take your thumb and you crush this way, ligature does this. When you wrap something around your neck and you suspend, it goes up here. The hyoid's here. The ligature's here. The cord, the wrapping, the cloth, whatever it is, here. And plus, to die via this, you don't need to have your neck snapped. You just need to have hypoxia. It's a sleeper. Rear naked choke. You know how that is. It's the carotid. That's not strangulation. That's not a choke. Choke is this. Choke is trachea. This is, look at Mick Jagger's girlfriend, Loren, Robin Williams, people who, even asphyxiation, Michael Hutchins, David Carradine, and all these other people, it's very simple. It's very simple. You must understand the physics and the rudiments of this. You have to understand the way things work. You have to understand a little bit about medicine, a little bit about pathology, a little bit about forensic pathology. You have to, this is where it all makes sense. So let me say something to you. For those of you who are saying, oh, you're being too mean to Erika. No. She's the orange. She's the orange at the end of the pyramid. Listen to what I'm saying. This is not the age of Aquarius. It took us 10 years to get where we would have been 10 years ago had people listened. But the bad guys were in charge of the media. The bad guys were in charge of X and YouTube and everything else, and they shut you down, and they freaked you out. And people just stopped talking about this. Not anymore. In the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear people mention things that you thought were permanently off limits and verboten. So thank you. And let me also tell you right now, and I'll say that, well, partly I love her, of course, but it's true, she's my wife, but Lynn's Warriors, look at what she's saying. If you really want to see what's happening regarding children, you must understand the whole panoply, the horizon, the ken, everything about the full spectrum of what's happening to children in terms of digital predation, in terms of trends. She has marched with parents, people who've lost their children because of online challenges. Children who, anyway, Lynn's Warriors, see for yourself. It's one of those things where when it hits you, you'll think, oh my God, why hasn't anybody done anything about this? Because the people who run the show, you want to talk about influence? You want to talk about lobbying? APAC? People talk about APAC? Oh, they're very powerful, very powerful. Not like big tech. Oh, man. Big tech owns everything. Because remember, the existential threat that we face, that society faces, is artificial intelligence, specifically AGI. And it's going to be here before you know it. In fact, it might already be here. Singularity is here. Alignment, that's gone, baby. It was a hope. It was a myth. That was wistful. That was will-o'-the-wisp. Here for a second, gone for another. In any event, thank you. Thank you. Please follow us. Make sure you do me a favor and hit like the button. Like the button. Yes, don't like me. Like the button. Hit the like button for whatever this thing is. Like us. It's the metrics that we need to take off into the HOV lane of popularity. It's the way it is. It's the way of the world, my friend. And I mean that sincerely. Also, please subscribe. 70% of the people who watch this don't subscribe. I don't know why. And also, I've got some questions for you. And your commentaries are superb. Go read them. I have the best followers, the most lucid and literate folks around. So I thank you. Continue on with the truth. And remember, I was right and always will be. Now comment as you see fit.